Alright. Hi everyone. This is Soul17 here. And let me through this like usual. I don't own this picture, and this is not a paid video. Alright, okay. First off, I just realized I did something a big uh-oh. And it was in the leveling, how many points he really got to level, his leveling points from his skill points. The level points need to be different. They were too low, basically. He should have really had 101 to get all those stats I gave him. So yeah, the leveling, the points that he used to level up are changed to 100, instead of 50 to 101. Alright, okay. So, basically Deku, though, in this one, we're starting off the day before, he goes into the entrance exam. So yeah. Okay. So let's just get into this. What if Deku had back cremation? Part 2. Alright, okay. So as Deku is studying up finally. Oh yeah, I just want to make a quick note. I'm at my friend's house. So yeah, I know everything in the background. Oh yeah, okay, anyways. Yeah. As Deku, is studying a little bit more for the entrance exam. He also has basically worked on his after training with Dabi, he has worked on more of his controlling of his flame to certain temperatures. And he has done this at the beach with his mother at night. So it goes pretty well. She's there to make sure he doesn't overdo it, because he has realized he has a tendency to overdo it, and he can make them hot enough to cover a certain part of the sand as glass. So Inko is very impressed with that, and he can then even scorch the sand, or just basically he has Inko like carry around like a wooden pole with her, or just like a stick, to test out how much heat he can put it out, put on it that lower the heat down. Ugh, my words, my brain was not working right there. Sorry. But yeah, he lowers the heat down to a point. So that the stick won't like burn. And he's gotten it pretty good. Now, in his skill tree, because of this, he has basically got more stuff added to his cremation quirk. Cremation stats, or should I say skills. As then he still has quite a few skill points, so he puts them into it, as it's just basically lower in temperature, increase in temperature. You know, it's just to help. So yeah, so his RPG leveling quirk kind of helps him in that. Then Deku then, you know, as Inko, walks into his room, as he was like kind of remembering all the stuff that he did while he was doing that, while he was like studying. As she comes in and asks him, does he think he's ready? He goes, Mom, if I wasn't ready, do you really think I would try to become a hero? As she says, probably you would. As they just have a little laugh. As Inko, asked him, so how's the leveling quirk, the RPG leveling quirk doing? He goes, pretty good. I mean, I modified the clothing Davi gave me. It already was heat resistant. Now I made it so that way basically my stats, as he says, my defense and my stats increase when I wear it. As basically Inko's pretty shocked. She goes, how did he do it? As he explains what he did. He went to Forge, basically then went to manipulate item, and then it converted it into basically into armor, slash also helped keep the resistance to heat, to his own flames. As he tells her that it's already like at altogether the clothing, it's 320 defense. And she is like in shock about that, because that's a lot for just clothing just to be that way. As he goes, yeah. Now I just need some accessories. As she goes like, what? Necklace, an earring, or ear piercings. I can probably convert normal items like I can hold in food and all that. As she goes, well, I mean, it is like only in the afternoon. So how about we go out and find you a necklace, rings, or an earring? Just to get your ears pierced or something. He's like, wait, what? You, of all people, will let me get my ears pierced? And she goes, yeah, because it works with your quirk. I can't deny that. As he goes, all right, Mom. As you think to yourself, she won't let me get my ears pierced. As then, basically, they find a necklace for him as he gets like a freaking um a skull necklace. She even found like some Deku even found like some rings, like punk rock rings. That he only has like three. And then Inko literally lets him go get his freaking ears pierced as he's literally in shock. He's thinking, wait, my mom letting me get my ears pierced. Okay. What has happened to my mother? As basically he gets like a, at the top part of his ear he gets his pierced, like near the top. I mean, he gets like pierced where it's like going down. He gets like like two on each ear basically, and they're like rings or so it goes like around his ear basically. And Deku is saying that does not hurt as much as I thought. She goes, well, your resistance is high, remember? He goes, oh yeah. Pain, I do not feel you no more. As in this, he stubbed his toe on something. He goes, never mind, I can still feel pain. She just starts laughing. As he goes, why did that work? It's basically he just starts laughing. He goes like, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened." And then Go says, "No, it's not." He goes, "Yeah, you're right." So they kind of spend their day out, and Deku, while they're like in the mall though. So while Deku's in the mall, he basically people are kind of like staring at him. He's not wearing his hero costume besides the boots and the pants and the shirt. He just wears like a jacket similar to the picture where Dobby has right now. But the only difference is it has a zipper and pockets and a hood that kind of looks like the burn on it. So that's it. And he converted that too. So he converts his clothing into defensive clothing basically, just in case. But he will not do that to his uniform if he gets it. So basically, he's doing that as he like just touching the air, and everyone's seeing that and think it's weird. As then he basically just says, "All right, that's all done." As his healing on his ears basically, since now they're accessory for him, the holes in his ear won't close at all, so he'll just always be able to put them in. And he's saying he's just gonna wear them from now on. And if you ask about like will the necklace and the earrings and the rings melt, because we that was they didn't cost much. Altogether probably um nine, maybe like 1,000, 1,750 yen. As Deku says, oh, it's all good actually. I read the descriptions before I even converted them, saying they won't like. Hold on, everyone. All right, everyone. Hold on. Just kidding. It was just my friend was doing that. I was about to do. I was about to throw something at him. But I mean, I'm ready just in case. He wants to. He just usually does some shit to me. But anyways, yeah. So as he like explains that when he read like before he can convert, there's always a description of it, as then he basically tells her that these items will not melt since they're accessories. They will not melt at all or be able to no matter how high the temperature on my quirk gets. As she's happy about that. And so Deku is getting some weird looks as he's noticing. As he goes, was this weird enough to do it in a public place? And she goes, no, just a few people are looking at you because you're, scars probably, son. As he goes, yeah, let's get going. As, she agrees. So when Inko and Deku, get on the mall, Deku sees a girl being, like, talked to about a couple of guys, but she doesn't looks like she doesn't want to be with anything to do with them. So he tells his mom just to hold on, I gotta take care of something. And she goes, son, will you? And she sees the guys harassing this girl who has basically, you know, white and red hair and a scar on her face. Yes, I'm making it where Dobby did not know. He thought his Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just freaking retconning what I said in the video. It's baby sister, he said. So it's because people said make female Todoroki. And, yeah, I'm just doing it. And I'm not gonna tell you the shit, but some people know, as, someone suggested it, and yeah, that's happening. So, yeah. So, Todoroki's a female. I did not know until someone asked for this. I was gonna just make him a guy, but then I thought it'd be a lot more funnier as a girl, and yeah, it is. So it's happening. So yeah, okay. So Degu's basically walking over as these guys just like saying, "You're coming with us," and basically this girl just says, "No, I'm not let go before you basically mess with because you're messing with the wrong person." As they just start laughing and say, "What can you do?" And then Deku just says, "Oh, easy. She could probably freeze you or burn you, it looks like." Also, as one of the person just starts to feel like smell something burning, as he looks as his pants are on fire, he goes, "It looks like you're basically need to see a doctor for that now." As the guys are just looking at him like, "Who the heck are you?" He goes, "Oh, I'm no one special. Just somebody who doesn't like people doing this to girls." As they run over to him, as then Deku literally just uses cremation and morphs it into a gauntlet and just punches them in the face. He's making it so that way it's not burn them. So yeah. And so they go flying as he just says, pathetic. And you think you guys are tough enough to take me on. Wow. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't end your lives. Hold on, everyone. Okay, as Deku has his hand in covered in cremation, as his eyes has a blue tint to it, as then basically the girl says, "You shouldn't do that, even if they are pathetic scum." As they look at the girl and he goes, "Give me, so who are you? And give me one reason why I should listen to you." As basically she gives out her name as Shoto Todoroki. As then Deku goes like, "Oh, oh no." The number two hero's kid. He goes, alright. And then he looks at them and he goes, "You're lucky I didn't end your lives right now." As they run away, screaming, saying, "He's a monster! No, he's a villain!" As he just starts laughing. As he just, and he goes, "So, hey, thanks for the assistance on that." And she goes, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "I wasn't gonna really end their lives. It was just a scare tactic. Fear, you know?" As she goes, "I thought you were serious." And he goes like, "Oh, well, I wasn't." And she goes, "You're impossible." And he just says, "Yeah, whatever." And he just then asks, "So, since you're the number two hero's daughter, I have a quick question." She goes, "Yeah, you gonna go into UA?" As basically, Todoroki says, "Maybe." And he goes, "Alright, I'll see you then if you get in. Bye." And just basically, while he's walking away, she has a flashback because of like her older brother Toya. Deku is though a little bit taller, not because of the not because of the boots. He's just in taller general because of his training. So I don't know how tall he is, but let's say he's like 6.0 or 6'1" right now. So yeah. So basically, he walks over back to his mom as his mom is looking at him with a disapproval face on. He goes, "What? It worked." And she goes, "Did he teach you to do that?" He goes, "No, that's how I did it when I broke people's bones in middle school." And she goes, "I can't change, is it?" He goes, "Nope, I'm still gonna do this. Just gotta live with it, mom." And she goes, "That's my fault for neglecting, well, for working too much." As he says, "Nah, you did good." So basically, they walk back home and everything, and Deku starts studying for at least an hour. He works out for at least two. It was like 1 o'clock when they left, so they got home around like 3. So he eats around at 7, and his mom is like when because he wanted to do something nice for her because she bought this stuff for him. He basically cooked, and she's surprised that he's able to cook this good when they're eating. He goes, "Well, easy. I had to make my own meals when you weren't home because you worked over the weekend, so I learned how to cook pretty quickly. Also, I found a diet that works for me." As she's saying, "Yeah, sorry," and he goes, "Don't worry about it again." So yeah, so right when the next day comes, Deku is basically at the door getting his boots on because that's what he's always gonna wear his boots. He finds it a lot more comfortable, especially the way that they have it. Dabi had his boots made, like literally they like are so comfortable. He doesn't want to go back to wearing any sneakers. So and he has like the jacket on and like this as the same thing I said about the it has the hood with a little bit of burn look to it. So yeah. So as Inko is looking at Midoriya and well Izuku, she says, as he looks back and she just tells him, "Be careful." As he goes, "Mom, you know me. Well, you know me for these past couple months all over again. So I had to start off fresh, but you know who I am now." And she says, "I know, but still, don't do nothing reckless." As he just smiles and says, "All right, Mom, I'll be fine. Trust me." As then he walks over and gives her a hug. And then she says, "All right, I will." And then she's like saying, "Also, when did you get so tall?" As he looks at her, and he goes, "Well, I have to train for so much. Yeah, it happens." And she goes, "Fine, I know, but still, it's not fair. My my baby face Izuku is not anymore my baby." As he just starts laughing. He goes, "Mom, I may not be your baby face Izuku no more, but I'm still your son." And then he like goes to the door as he just waves bye. So we're gonna go after like 30 minutes of traveling to UA. I can notice he got like a lot of looks because you can see the scarring on his neck, but and like and a little bit of his hands. As he just goes, "Keep looking. You're gonna see a lot of this when I become a hero." And that's to himself. So when he gets to UA, he basically is just admiring it as he just says, "Wow, this is the first time I've ever been here." And he's just standing in place with his hands in his pocket. As then he says, "Hey, little bro, I came by to give you a good luck hug. Good luck hug." So, So Deku turned around right away as he goes, "Big brother!" As he runs over and just gives Davi a hug, basically. And that lasted for a few minutes. And then he says, "Why are you here?" And he just says, "Well, I'm here to wish you good luck. It also looks like you got a little bit stronger, even with your quirk." He goes, wait, you can tell? He goes, yeah, I can tell. Actually, I've been kind of keeping an eye on you just in case you don't mess up anything. As Deku looks a little bit annoyed, he goes, hey, I wouldn't mess up anything. And then he just started, then they have like a little laugh. People are noticing this, and he just says, so, quick question. He goes, yeah? Did you join up with them? As he says, of course I did. As he has a flashback to when he goes back to the height of the League of Villains. And basically he just says, I'll join your little league now, since I'm done training the kid. As then Alpha One says to Dabi, as you all know, Alpha One is Deku's father in this What If. As he says to Dabi, alright, I want you to keep, basically, I already asked you to keep an eye on him when he's because of your training with him. But now I want you to keep an eye on him just in case anything happens. You can still do your normal, well, business or plans. But I want you to keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't do anything bad or villainous. As Tommy just looks at him and goes like, why you care so much about this kitty? And he just says, I have my reasons, Dobby. Please, do not. As then Dobby says, look, I'm not going to judge you for your reasons. Honestly, I don't want that kid to even become a villain either. So, I'll do it. No questions asked. Well, besides that one, I did. Anyways, I'll keep an eye, and I'll keep you updated on him, as Dobby has actually done so. So, yeah. So, Dobby basically tells the Izuku that... Alright, hold on, everyone. I need to ask my friend something real quick. Alright, okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So, as Dobby, just telling him, Izuku, you need to watch out. He goes, what do you mean? I saw a couple of heroes walked in. One was All Might. Another one, Eraserhead. He goes, wait, Eraserhead? He goes, yeah. He goes, oh, that's one of the cool heroes. And then he goes, really? He goes, yeah. He patrols at night. He's able to disrupt someone's quirk. It's kind of funny, I think. He goes, why? Then he goes, then he can beat up the then he can beat up the villains. But if it was you, well, he's gonna have to get through me first. As Dobby is in it, and you're like, oh crap, this kid's awesome. I'm glad I call him little brother. As then he goes, also, I need to tell you something. Alright, I trust you. You're like, I call you a little brother, so I'm trusting you with this. As then Deku, Dabi leans over into Deku's ear and tells him, I am Toya Todoroki. As Deku goes, wide, eyes just widen. As he goes, you're supposed to be dead or missing. As he whispered that, he goes, I'm pretty much alive. As then Deku says, oh, I should have realized the flame quirk, how powerful it was. I feel like an idiot. As Dobby's just laughing as Deku's hitting his head with his own hand multiple times over. As he goes, quit it, you're gonna hurt yourself. And then he stops, he goes, so, he's the guy who, yep, was abusive. I want to get payback on him, but I don't know how. Well, I know I want him dead, but in what way? I'm still trying to figure that out. But now I just want him dead. As then Deku has an evil grin on him. As he goes, wait, Izuku, little bro, what do you think? As he goes, how about, wasn't your hair white or red when you were younger? He goes, well, it was white at first, and then it went red. He goes, well then, how about if he's there watching, how about I basically say I'm you. As he goes, wait, if my dad comes down while you're leaving and asks you, are you me? Or who are you? And you're just gonna say, I am Toya Todoroki. It's been a long time, old man. As Dobby just has this pure, happy, evil grin on his face as he's saying, oh, I like your thinking, little bro. As he, like, just, as Deku just says, well, hold on, everyone. Everyone, yeah, sorry about that. I know there's gonna be a lot of interruptions. If my friend says anything, I'm gonna pause it and beat the living crap out of him with his own freaking stuffed giraffe. I don't ask questions. Just trust me. It will happen. But yeah. So now he says, yeah, you may have learned from me how to control that quirk of yours, but that evilness is coming from you, kid. Yeah, they have a little laugh about it. As then Dobby just says, all right, all seriousness. I need you to do me one thing and one thing only in this. As Dobby is taller than him, so he basically has his hands on Izuku's shoulder. As he just says, staring him dead in the eyes, being serious, he says, win this. Show everyone who you are. Alright? As Deku just says, that was the plan, bro. Everyone here is going to be a loser, anyways. And then Dobby says, oh, especially show that extra who you are. As he says, do you mean Bakugo Katsuki? He goes, dude, bro, he's an extra. As they both laugh, he goes, man, me telling you about him. You really think he's an extra? And besides, that's his line. And he goes, bro, little bro, seriously, he is. You're the main protagonist in your own story, am I right? As he says, you took my own line from me about whoever's telling the story. You could be the hero or the villain, right? He goes, yeah, you're telling your own story right now. He's just the extra. And Deku basically his fist is on fire as Davi fist goes on ice as they bump fists. And he goes, now get lost. You're gonna be late. And he goes, alright bro, see ya. As Deku's walking away as Davi yells out saying, text me when you're done. Or, when you basically get into UA. As he just puts up his finger as alright. Like thumbs up. So yeah. Davi walks away as he's thinking, oh, I really hope he does a really good. I really hope he does what he says he's gonna do to my old man. That's gonna be so funny. Alright. So, yeah. So as Deku, walking, he does not trip. He never meets Uraraka. And, yeah, so he gets in. Since I made him a lot more intelligent, his base intelligence was very high, then he increased it, then he kept on studying. He's gonna pass. He's gonna be at the top. Alright. So he's at the top. He gets through all the questions. He even corrects a couple of them. Just because he just did it because he was bored. He got done way too quick, so he just went back and read some of it because he felt it was a little bit weird. So he corrected a few things. And yeah, next thing you know, he hands in the paper as they tell him he can just go wait in the, for President Mike to give a introduction of what they're gonna do for the combat portion. As Deku says, "All right," and he leaves. So after a while, Deku, not after a while. Deku then, yeah, let's say after a while, he gets there and he notices not that many people are there. So he says, so I guess a lot of people are still working on the tests. Alright. As Deku basically, it's just waiting for everyone. President Mike comes in and he sees Deku. He goes like, yo, my, my dude. I don't know if the person might do that, but just for this, let's just say he does. He goes, so what's with all the scarring on your, with the neck and the hand and, he goes, well, my quirk did it. He, President goes like, oh, wow then, that's, must be very powerful if he does it. He goes, yeah, I kind of let it did it. And President goes like, wait, what? He goes, let's just say I had some scars I wanted to cover up. And this was the best idea I had. Got a problem? As he kind of like he's saying that with a cockiness in his voice, but also glaring for intimidation. As President Mike says, "No, actually, I just was wondering if someone did that to you. Actually, name's President Mike, and let's keep everything on the down low. If about you doing that to yourself, okay?" As he goes, "All right, Mike," and he goes, "All right." So he walks to where he's gonna announce everything, and then so everyone starts coming in, and Bakugo comes in as he sees this guy in a black hoodie and boots, kind of just having his foot on the table, leaning his chair backwards. Well, both feet on the table, just leaning his chair backwards, kind of just napping, because it took a while for everyone to get in. As Bakugo says to himself, goes like, "Who's this loser? I don't need. Why does that loser like him have to be near me?" As he sees the scarring on him, he goes like, "What the? Whatever." As as President Mike, starts saying like, "Hello, boys and girls. It's me, President Mike, as I am here to give you a wonderful introduction about your combat portion." As Deku wakes up, and he's like a little bit tired, a little bit groggy after that nap. He goes like, "Ugh, did I miss anything?" As then he notices Bakugo, as he just says, "Oh yeah, I missed a lot," to himself. So yeah, as President Mike gives his introduction about the 3-pointers, 2-pointers, and 1-pointers, Ito gives his hands up about how he's very disappointed in the school for not talking about the 0-pointer, which basically Deku's thinking himself goes like, "Oh great, one of these guys. He probably has a stick up somewhere. I don't even want to say." And then he points over to Midoriya as he's basically giving like a nonchalant look, like he's not really paying attention. As Ito says, "And you, why are you not paying attention to President my introduction?" As then Deku just literally says, "Yo, Mike, can I do something real quick? Use my quirk." As Mike, as Baku kind of says, "Wait a minute." As then Deku says, President Mike goes like, "For what?" He goes, "Oh, just one thing." As he goes, "Sure." As then Deku fires off fire. As then it goes around Eden's mouth. As it's like he manipulates to go around. He goes like, "All right, carry on, Mike. I shut up the annoyance. I shut up the annoying guy." As Ito's trying to rip off, like trying to get the fire off his face because he's thinking, because he can't talk. And President Mike goes like, "Well, whoa, that's a interesting quirk." And he goes, "Yeah, got it like a couple years ago when I was 13. Haven't trained it much until the 10 months. Believe me, it's a pain in the neck to even control, but I got the hang of it. This is one of the things I could do, manipulate it." As Mike says, "Well, thank you. Uh, doesn't matter. Just carry on. I'll get this over and done with so I can get into the combat portion." As he goes, "All right," as he says, "Well, ignore that, ignore my friend Tim, but anyways, he says, well, 0-pointer is just an obstacle. I didn't really have to mention it because there's really no point in it. You need to run." As Deku's thinking, oh, I see. This is to weed out the true heroes or the not true heroes. Clever. Whoever designed this is very smart. As then he thinks, oh wait, it's Nezu, the smartest person in the world. Oh, smartest creature in the world. Alright, this is gonna be fun. As a little grunt, as Bakugo saying, no, this can't be Midoriya. This can't be Deku. He had no quirk. But then, President Mike says, alright, as you see the cards on your, papers, where you're gonna be, as Deku and Bakugo are separated. So he just, says, cool, I'm not with this loser next to me. As Bakugo says to himself, I'm not with Deku. Well, if this is Deku, he looks so different. What happened to him in this 10 months? I mean, what's going on? He's just like so confused. As basically, like when Deku's like going over to where he needs to, as President Mike says, kid. He goes, yeah, Mike. He says the fire around the and then he just snaps his fingers as the fire disappears off of Ida's mouth. As he says, he basically was like, still trying to rip it off, but he says, that was very rude of you, as he just like moved his hand motion over to Deku as he says, rude of me? What about you interrupting President Mike, a pro hero? Also the one who's basically was gonna actually, it looks like he was actually gonna talk about the 0-pointer before you rudely interrupted. So basically I just shut you up so that way he could. So we can get on with the lesson. And also, just because I have a lazy look to me doesn't mean I wasn't paying attention. As he walks away, as Pretty says, whoa, that guy has a temper on him. And he goes, well, fiery tempers does happen with fire quirks, but hey, it works out for him. As then Ida says, ruffian. As then President says, oh, actually, he was right about it. As Ida looks at President Mike and goes, what? He was right about me is going to explain that about the 0-pointer before you interrupted me. So if you think he's a ruffian, then what are you? As President Mike just leaves, as Ida's thinking about it, as he realized his mistake, as he made a very bad first impression. If that kid was gonna be in Class 1A. So yeah. So everyone gets into like some clothing. As Deku is just in his normal civilian clothing. As he's just like in the back, just waiting. He knows how fast he is. He can even boost his speed with his fire. So basically, he's not even gonna try to win this, like, seriously, because he could probably destroy this whole entire test in one shot. If he wanted to, that's what he thinks, but that would be pretty hard since it's a wide enough area. So it would take a little bit of effort, but hey. I love a challenge, he says. But he then looks up and he's scanned the room, basically, of people. As that he sees a girl who's looks very nervous. As he goes, well, looks like I'm gonna have to calm her down. I don't want her to fail. That's the one thing. I don't like people holding back or getting nervous for something that's kind of easy. As then, he's walking over to her. As Ida's thinking, oh, he's gonna do something, and then he remembers what he said. As he says he'll just watch and see. So he does. As Deku gets over to Uraraka, as then he says, hey, you alright? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just a little bit nervous. I mean, it's a test and all, and getting to this school is very, very hard. As he just says, look, just calm down. Alright? As she says, alright, how can I do that? And then he just says, put your hands together. She goes, okay. As then he slaps them, which he just sees, and she's saying, ow, ow, ow. And he goes, which he didn't slap them very hard. He just moved really quickly, but he didn't want to break it, so he was holding back his strength a little. He goes, now focus on that pain and nothing else. It won't last very long. As she's like, and then he says, take deep breaths in and take deep breaths out. As she's focused on the pain and doing that, and then she just says, wow, I'm less nervous. As he goes, yeah, it works on your face too, but the hand thing does it a little bit more, better. As she says, thank you. He goes, no problem. Anyways, it looks like I don't know what's gonna happen, but hope you get into UA. And she goes, same thing to you. As basically Endeavor, All Might, and Eraserhead, along with Nezu and everyone else in the observatory, is like looking at people like down where they are, as they're like reading like some students that they think will get in. Endeavor was handed a paper on Izuku Midoriya, as he basically sees cremation and flame manipulation. As he goes, wait, what? Cremation? That was my son's quirk. No, this boy can't be. As he's like remembering the day what happened to Toya. So he says he's gonna keep an eye on this kid. So right when after Deku like kind of just gets in the front, basically, he just the president mic just comes on and he says, "As soon as those doors open, you start running because there's no countdowns when you're real heroes." As Deku says, of course." As basically when the doors started opening, everyone's running in, and Deku's just yawning. He goes, "Ugh, this is gonna be way too easy." I can't wait to see the people's faces of what I do. As like everyone's passing him, as he just walks nonchalantly in. As then like all the heroes are thinking, "What's wrong with him? Why isn't he running?" As Endeavor's thinking, "This boy, if he was my son, he would have already started running." As though he is like thinking how Toya was, he says, maybe he wouldn't, or maybe he would." That boy of mine was always a weird case. So when Deku, when everyone else is like thinking, "Oh, he can't do anything," as then a few 3 pointers come, as some people are saying, as some people like scream, as Deku then just says, "All right, let's get this done." As then he creates fire. He creates 3 swords. As he just starts running towards them, running towards the people that scream from the 3 pointers, and there's like 3 of them. So he slices right through all 3 of them with ease. As he's saying to himself, "Cremation swords." As basically in the air there was a streak of fire. As they're thinking, when did he? Like the people, and then even the hero says that was too quick for him. How did he do that? And Delver's thinking, possible. How? As then Deku basically has the sword in his mouth. As then he grabs it, he says, "Hey, don't be scared of these 3 pointers. If you combine your strengths together, you can win. Also, don't get in my way." As then he puts the sword back in his mouth. As he just starts running. As multiple robots are coming his way, he starts just slashing. And then he even put his sword into the ground, and he just dragging it across it. As fire is erupting from it. As he's just a minute, and then when he comes to a 3 pointer, another 3 pointer, he just basically pulls the sword out of the ground as a dragon's coming out, as it hits the 0 pointer, and he just makes a slash into the air, as where the 3 pointer goes with the fire, with the cremation dragon, as then it blows up. He goes, too easy. As then he just manipulates one of his swords into a throwing, basic cremation knife, as then he just throws it, as then 2 pointers come out of nowhere. And it goes right through them both, and they both blow up. And he says, "Wow, I did not think that was gonna work. I didn't even know they were there. Lucky me." As then he just uses both of his swords then, as he just keeps on going through. As everyone's seeing this, and they're like amazed. He's ranking up points so quickly, no one even knows. And by the way, he is getting a lot of his leveling up points, because every time he takes on a 3 pointer, he's just basically getting like a million. No, he gets like 1,000 points each. So since he's taking them out, and then for the 2 pointers he gets like 900, and then for the 1 pointers he only gets like 800. So experience points. So basically, but since he's taking down a lot very quickly, he's got like a lot. He goes up for level up points. He gets about 5. But when he gets on the 0 pointer, he's gonna get like 10. So he's gonna get altogether 15 more. But anyways, so yeah, after a while of doing this, he's basically just stopped using the swords and just put out. And then he, no, as he's holding on to one sword, as he just holds out his hand with the other one in his left arm up in the air, as the one starts to turn to a ball, as then birds start to come out of the ball. As he just starts to then swirl, as when the ball disappears, he then starts swirling all the birds around. As then he just then points them forward as they just start flying forward. They're just flying. They're going to every like robot that they come across and just burning right through them, which is getting him a lot higher. He's past and then not in the 100 range. He's in 1,000 range. As then basically after this he stops. He says that should be enough. So he just like kind of just like takes a break. He says, "Okay, I used a lot of fire today. I gotta stop." But like he does like kind of looks at the screen where his like level stats are, as he thinks, okay, so my dexterities for the and my resistance kind of help with the problem with the heat, like overexhausting himself. So he's kind of glad he like increased that a lot already. As then after a while, just him resting, he gets back up. As then the 0 pointer comes in, as everyone like runs away from it. As he's like right in the area where Uraraka would have like gets crushed. Because Deku was just looking at the 0 point, he did not notice like Uraraka is getting crushed by rubble. As then he sees it. As he goes, "Oh crud. I can't let her die." As basically he just starts running. And Ida's seeing this, and he's just seeing Midori Deku just running really fast. And then when he arrives there, he goes, "Hey, you okay?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm fine, but I can't get out." And then he just grabs the rubble and just starts chucking it off her like it's nothing. Which everyone that's seen this, including the heroes, are in shock. As even Uraraka, he says, "Hey, can you stand?" And she goes, "No, I think I hurt my ankle." As he just says, "All right." And then he just makes a like a rod for her to use. As he basically says, "Okay, use this and just start walking." She goes, "Wait, what about you?" He goes, "I'm gonna take on the big guy." And she goes, "Wait a minute, what?" As he, goes, as she like tried to get up and try to stop him, she sees his body just emit fire. As basically he's saying, "Oh, I've been wanting to try something like this for a while." As then fire like starting to come off the ground and off his body. As then a wall of cremation just comes right behind him. As he says, "Take this. And let's see if your armor can help you. Burn." As then all of a sudden, cremation, the fire from the wall starts to go into his hand while he's already making cremation in his hand. So it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger as he says, "Big bang." As all of a sudden the fire just starts move like he just like shoots it at the 0 pointer. As then basically it's just going as this heat it just keeps on going right. It's just starting melting it right through instantly. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter as basically Deku's just smiling at it. He's just saying, "Well, it looks like you really couldn't handle the heat." And then all of a sudden, those flames that burst right through the robot starts to turn to a hand. As then he started moving the flame towards the robot's head. As then it's just when he grabs the head, it just I just smacked the phone out of my hand. You guys can laugh at that. Yeah, as then he basically the fire just starts to go down for the robot, as then it turns into melted. It just starts melting and turns into nothingness, basically, and just a liquid. As he goes, "That's the power of my quirk," and I think I was holding back. Now that really was fun. As basically he walks back towards Uraraka, and she's in shock. As then basically he just grabs her arm as the cremation staff just disappears as he walks over to Recovery Girl. Everyone's seen this, including the heroes, as they're all thinking, "Is this kid a monster?" Endeavor's thinking, that has to be Toya. Nobody can do something like that but him. How did he? It doesn't matter. I need him. I need him to beat All Might. But if that is Toya, I mean, he goes, "Wait, no. Toya's dead. How? I need to figure this out. I need to talk to him." Basically, Endeavor leaves. And All Might's thinking, I should have asked him to be my successor. But young Bakugo is very powerful. He got ready to handle 25% in our training, but still, this boy was, we heard him said he was holding back still. As Deku was holding back. As he then looks at his screen while he's walking over to everyone, as he sees what new skills he has, he goes, "Well, this helps." As Recovery Girl asks him if he okay, if anything is hurt, as she sees the birds, she goes, "Oh my, are you all?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm fine, don't worry. I just my quirk did this to me, so it's okay." As she goes, "Yo man, that shouldn't have been happened to you." He goes, "Don't worry, Recovery Girl, it's okay. Anyways, I hope you get alright, and I hope you get into UA again. See ya." As Deku walks off, because Paramount says, "That is all, everyone. I hope you did good and all, and if you didn't get into UA, try in other schools and try to become a hero. We recommend you do that, because everyone knows that we all need heroes out there." As everyone was in shock, Ida is baffled by this. He goes, "If he was this powerful, couldn't he have destroyed every robot at once, along with the whole entire box city?" As he's a little bit terrified just thinking about that. So when Deku leaves, he's near the exit to out of UA, as then he hears Endeavor saying, "Stop." As he stops and he goes, "Oh, look who it is." As when he turns around and Endeavor he's shocked with the white hair. He goes, "Wait, are you?" He goes, "What, are you impressed with my quirk?" "Come on. You can't really be that impressed with it, Dad." He goes, "Wait, yeah, it's me. Toya Todoroki, your son." He has a grin on his face as he goes, "How? How did you," he goes, "change back into this? I should be, I don't know, maybe 20 years old, 23, in the 20 range, right?" While I was walking, around the city, being homeless and all, a kid accidentally had a quirk to reverse aging. So I became a kid again. But because of this, there was a side effect to his quirk. It gives you new powers. It gives you add on to your quirk, basically. So I got flame manipulation too. As he has a grin on his face, and he says, "Now you don't have to worry. I don't. You don't have to see me ever again, as I'm a failure to Todoroki, the perfect biological child you wanted to take off All Might from his podium. So basically, you could feel like you took him down, old man." As he has glaring as Endeavor saying, "Toya, You need to come back home with me immediately. As Deku just says to him, he goes, what can you do? I'm supposed to be dead, right? As he goes, yes, but he goes, Toya died. Izuku Midoriya, lives on now. I'm not gonna let you ruin my life, Dad. No, old man, I won't let you do nothing. You stay out of my way, and I won't come after my old family. I says, what? You would? He goes, yeah, I would. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for myself, to prove to myself I don't need you in my life. I don't need anyone in the family. I don't need your, well, guidance to become a hero. And don't tell no one in the family about me. Alright? I'll know. As he basically walks out, and Endeavor feels himself sweating. And he sees his hand shaking. He goes like, is that really my son? When did he become like this? What happened to him? For now, I'll keep this a secret. I'll need to find more of what happened. There has to be some record of him or something. As basically, Teku calls up Dabi. As he says, yo, bro, what's up? As, Deku just tells Dabi everything, and he just starts laughing. He goes, you really did it. You really told him off. Oh my god. No, we're celebrating if you get into UA. And he says, I'll invite you, Mitsuki, and her husband. I might to me and my mom's place. And he goes, oh, you better. You better. Because I'm going to laugh this up. As basically, yeah. So after a while of waiting, he gets a letter in saying he got in. And then he calls up Dabi, he calls up Mitsuki, and, his mom was there and congratulated him on getting in, and, she's crying, he's hugging and crying too. He's like, I've got in, I can be a hero. And then he does also say, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you something. He goes, what? As then he says, oh, wait, I probably should have Dabi come and tell you. As basically, after the whole entire, they all get in that night as they celebrate. Deku talks to Dabi saying, hey, you mind talking to, my mom and Mitsuki and her husband about who you are? He was like, bro, why? He goes, well, I have to tell him about her endeavor just in case he comes after me. And he goes, fine. As basically then Dabi starts to explain who he is. As they're all shocked and about how he happened to him, which Mitsuki's even upset with this from Endeavor because he's a hero. And Inko says she knew about it because he told him, and though he is sorry to hear that, and he goes, that's alright. I got to meet Izuku, and basically have a little bro. Somebody who looks and acts like me a little. And he goes, whatever. As they all start laughing. So, while that happens, they, they all celebrate. So, Dabi did tell All For One and Shigaraki where he was going, as Shigaraki said, when he heard Deku got into UA, he actually says, Gary, get the fruit punch! And any alcohol you guys want to drink. We're partying tonight! Get the snacks! As Kirigiri is wondering why, he goes, if I can't be with Midoriya, my little brother, we're partying without him. As All For One does join in. As they all they get as Dabi did take a picture of him while they were training. Basically he did print it out for them as they start partying. And everyone basically Gary got non-alcoholic drinks. So he did say we're not partying with alcohol. This may be a bar, but you are underage, Toya. Not Toya. Wait, Shigaraki. Toya Shigaraki. Yeah. Give me a minute. I need to remember something. I need to remember his name. Yeah, he says Tomura. Okay, so yeah. So after that, they all are happy for him. And so yeah, okay, so here's how it's gonna happen for UA. UA starts in a week, and though Deku kind of just called the school and asked to speak to Principal Nezu the next day, and then he told Nezu that he has his hero costume already. He just wants to ask, can he just bring it in right now and talk to him? As Nezu says, "Oh, why yes, of course, you can come in." As Deku that day walks all the way over to back to UA, and he has basically his hero costume in, and basically he says, "Well, it's this jacket, this shirt, these pants, and these boots." As he goes, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, along with the accessories. I just need the jacket a little bit more, like, let's say, reinforced with some armor too." As Deku armor is like 350, like defense with that, but still he wants to add a little bit more to it. He goes, like what? He goes, I don't know, have like some pocket, like a little like some pockets area, so that way I could like use some stuff. Say, I don't know, like I could put my cremation into something, and then when I can throw it, I can use it as a flashbang and such. As then he like explains like pockets, basically like has like a little bit like more of a resistance to attacks besides fire, like water, ice, wind, even bullets or knives. As he says, "All right, well, I'll see what I can do with it." And then he says, "Yeah, please, and don't change nothing about the jacket. This was a gift from my teacher." As he goes, "Oh, all right. Please, be reassured that nothing would change. We'll just add on what you want." And he says, "All right." And he says, "But I'm okay. But since you had it, I can, go to someone and we can, you have to write down and ask the bit get it done." As he says, as Nezu write down everything Deku said. As then Deku says, "All right, I had to like get the money or something from you." As basically he says, "Oh, well, you can pay it when you get to UA. Don't have to rush." As he goes, "All right." He says, as he bows down to Principal Nezu and says, "Thank you." As Nezu says to himself, "This boy is very different from what I saw. He is proper, but it seems like he has only when he's around people that make him angry, he acts like a person that acts like a hothead. And then when he's around people that he likes, he acts all kind. When he wants to give respect to somebody, he acts like this. He says this boy is very peculiar, but huh, what have I to talk? I'm a talking animal." As basically he basically starts drinking some tea. So when that week goes by, Deku is wearing the uniform, but he was about to put on the. He no, we're going to like the day before he goes to UA. He gets a letter in from like Principal Nezu. He says, "Yeah, Midoriya, you because of your quirk, I think it'll be better off if you wear your clothing that you had on. Just bring your jacket and just put just have a tie on you, and that's it." As then he and it says, "If you're thinking I'm kidding, don't. This is me being 100% serious. Please, just wear the normal clothes you had on yesterday. When you came in, because you had on like the hoodie and stuff. So just put the tie around your neck, and that's it." As then he says, "If you need to, bring the slitter in, so that no one can ever say anything to you about it." As Deku saying, "Oh, thank you. I don't have to wear those freaking clothes anymore. I don't have to wear those clothing." As Inko's thinking, "Son, what's wrong? And then he shows her the letter as he says, I am so freaking glad, Mom. I don't have to wear. Actually, no. He says, I am so effing glad I don't have to wear those clothing, like that freaking uniform. And he says, Izuku, you. And he goes, remember, I told you I curse. Like, he says, I think I told you I was going to curse, or I do curse. And she goes, oh, I don't know. It's been a lot of stuff happened. He goes, yeah, a lot of stuff did happen. All right, well, anyways, Mom, I'm gonna get some rest. Night, as you know, she says night. So yeah, the next day happens. He just wears the white shirt, the black jacket, and then just put on the tie as pants. And what the frick? Hold on. Sorry about that one. That was my friend watching a video. After this, I am gonna beat him with the stuffed giraffe. Yeah, I know. I'm a mean friend, but hey, whatever, right? I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do it to him. But anyways, so yeah, after basically, Deku gets over to UA, he does technically like put the symbol on him. But he kind of has like the jacket over his basically his shoulders. He just carries it around with him because he just says, "All right, I better just bring the natural uniform shirt just in case at least." And he does, and he puts in the jacket, but he has the tie on him as he just starts walking out the door as his mom, with his bag on, and she says basically to him, like, do you have everything you need? Like, anything at all? He goes, yeah, Mom, I got everything in my storage too. It's my item bin. And she goes, all right. And by the way, the item bin is infinite. He can hold anything in it. Like, well, it depends on the size basically, but he can hold any as many as he want. So yeah, so as much as he want, he can hold in that item storage, as item storage. So yeah, okay. So she goes, all right, just have a good day at school. As he goes, all right, Mom. As he goes over and hugs her and says, thanks for everything. And he says, and then she goes, oh, wait, did you forget about the money? And he goes, oh, yeah. While they were hugging, and she runs over and gives him the money. Say it was like 4,800 yen. So he has it as he walks all the way to my to UA, as then also I'm keeping it a surprise, but you probably figured Deku broke the record, so yeah, you probably figured that already. But yeah, I didn't want to say that because everyone does. But anyways, so when Deku gets into UA, he gets over to Principal Nezu's office as he pays him the money. Like he gives him the money as Principal Nezu can like just tell by the weight, and he says, "All right, that seems to be the exact amount. Thank you." He goes, "No problem." And he says about the jacket as he says, "Oh yes, here." As he gets a box and gives it to Midoriya. As he does ask, "Why are you wearing why you have the jacket over your sleeve?" He goes, just in case. I mean, I at least gotta have something on from UA, right?" As he just says, "Yes, yes, you do." Well, I did tell you about don't wear anything since your quirk, and so saw what we did, as your clothing was perfectly fine. And he goes, yeah. And he says, but I won't use the quirk at all. It's just, I'll change into the other shirt he pulls out his bag. As then next he go, Nezu says, all right, well, hope you have a nice day. As he goes, thanks, Nezu. As Nezu, says, all right, take care. As Deku leaves, as Nezu's like, thinking this boy's kind of smart, and this was a test for him to see if he actually would. As this want to see if he actually would follow the rules, but he never said he would tuck in his clothing or stuff. So he's saying, all right, well, at least he brought his shirt. It was a test, and he passed. As Deku changed into his shirt, and then he thinks to himself, I have a feeling it was gonna be I have a feeling something was off. But I'm not wearing the pants or any sneakers, just my boots. And so yeah, after he changes his shirt and all, but he keeps the jacket, the hoodie on him still, and like the button and like the tie and stuff. As basically he gets over to class 1 A, he found it, as he says, big door. It's probably is going to be like All Might's here. Oh. Oh, yeah. My old favorite hero. Well, I mean, he still is my hero, just not my idol. I'm. I thought I was. Oh, actually, oh wait, no, I was All Might fan. No, I'm not. I love playing these little games on myself. It's fun. It's amusing. And then when he opens up the door, he hears basically he looks and see Bako Ida arguing. As then like Bakugo kind of mellowed down a little bit, but he's still the same Bakugo. He's saying, like, who are you to tell me what to do? And then he says, you shouldn't, like, then Ida's saying, you shouldn't even disrespect the students of the past from us. And then Deku just says to himself, oh, I know, love this class. As he's saying that in his head, and he's really thinking to himself, not really. So, basically then, like, Ida says, okay, let me start over again. I am Tenya Ida, and I'm, from Soma Kami, or whatever he says. And then, Bako says his usual thing. As then, Deku says, wow, me and him thought exactly the same thing. And then Ida sees Deku, and so then he walks over and says, you there! And he goes, basically like that, and he goes, I have a few things to say to you. As Deku says, oh, great. Here he comes, Mr. Oh, I know everything. And then Ito bows to him as he goes, as this is surprising to Deku, as he goes, hey, you don't have to do that. And he goes, no, I do. As he's saying that while he bows, then he comes back up. He says, I judge you based on what you were doing in your, as the explanation of what President Mike was doing, and I am terribly sorry for that. You are very powerful, very different from everyone else here. As Deku says, you can say that. And he has a little smile on his face, and he goes, and plus you are a superior student than I. As Deku just says, yeah, I am. I figured out what was the 0 pointer about. And he goes, wait, what? He goes, it was just like, basically, weed out the people who would be rushed in head first without thinking. Basically, he goes, what? They would control the robot the whole entire time. They wouldn't let us get hurt. But I wasn't gonna let somebody get hurt because of other people's actions. As Ida's thinking himself, he figured it out just by the explanation alone. As Deku just says, taps on, put his hand on his shoulder and pats him. He goes but hey, we all can't figure it out right away. Sometimes you just need some guidance. Am I right? And also, don't act like you're a know-it-all. Or hey, what you just did with that guy over there, as he points to Bako as Ida looks with me, because I kind of do something in a similar way, but I at least clean my desk afterwards. As Ida says, all right then. As Deku just has his book bag on him, and then he just puts it down on the ground, gets in the seat, puts his both feet on the table, and just starts leaning back, and just starts taking a long nap. As soon as everyone's seen this, Bako's thinking, who is he? As everyone comes in. Murako comes over. She sees Deku kind of sleeping, and she doesn't bug him. Everyone's talking, and then Zawa comes in, and that's when Deku goes huh? What? What time is it? Did I miss anything? As Aizawa says, it took you 15 minutes to get quiet. That won't do. As then Kaminari asks, Denki asks, who are you? He goes oh, I says, I am your teacher, Aizawa, Mr. Aizawa. As then he says, also a pro hero, Deku says out loud, and he goes, huh? Do you know me? He goes yeah, I do. I know what your name is, your pro hero name, and what your quirk is. As Aizawa's kind of smile at this, he goes, really? What is it? What's my hero name? He goes, Eraserhead. Your quirk allows you to use your eyes to basically, when you look at a person with a quirk, you can erase it. not permanently. It's just while you're staring at them, they can't use their quirks at all. Hazazawa kind of collapses. He says, "You done your research, kid." He goes, "You're one of the people that I find very interesting, Mr. Aizawa, especially with your quirk." He goes, "Not in the way that you may think as a villain wise, just as a hero wise, as a person wise too." Saying, "If I don't have my quirk, what am I supposed to do?" As then I figure out I should train my body and learn a little bit of combat. As I have, as then he explains, he's been training. He just says, "I trained a lot for my life, and I got into a lot of fights." As Baku's thinking, "This can't be Midoriya. This can't be Midoriya. This can't be Midoriya. Oh, Deku. This can't be Deku. This cannot be Deku." He like having like a little mental breakdown. He probably doesn't show it. And then Aizawa says, "All right, since you know that much, you all put on these uniforms, and we're gonna have a quirk assessment." As everyone is saying, as one person says, "What?" But we all, as Deku gets up, goes up to Aizawa, grabs the uniform, and just walks out. As he just says, "Follow that kid example. Do it." As then he walks out of the room. As everyone gets their uniforms basically, and they're in like the training room, like the changing room. Everyone's looking at Deku basically. Like he basically doesn't have the top, like the shirt on. As people say, "Yo, you okay, man?" He goes, "Yeah, fine." As they see the scars on his arms, up to his forearm, near his shoulders, and on his neck, but they see like scarring on his side of his stomach and back and stuff, and they're thinking, "Yo, that's brutal, man." He goes, "How did you get it?" He goes like, "Oh, you don't want to know." As then Deku puts on a shirt but sees Mineta. As then Deku goes, "Oh heck no, I am not dealing with this guy." As then he walks over to where Mineta is, he grabs Mineta, throws him to the side, and then right when Jiro was about to, was about to put her headphone jack into the hole, he yells out saying, "If any girl is over on the other side peeking, get away from the wall now." As then Jiro gets away. As then he just closes up the hole with cremation. As Mineta says, "Come on, man, it was just getting to the good." And then he sees Deku's face as fire is emitting off of his body. As he goes, he goes, "You want to finish that sentence, you purple grape stain of trash." As everyone's looking at him, was like, "Whoa, that's kind of harsh." As Mineta says, "I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet." As he goes, "Good." So he gets out. As then basically, Deku just like tells when he gets out there, Aizawa. He like asks, "What's with that angry face? Why are you so pissed off, kid?" As he tells him what happened, and he goes, "Oh, that kid's out. I don't care. He's out now. I don't. I'm not gonna spell anyone else. Just him. Even if he gets a high score, he's expelled right away. I just want to see what he can do." As Deku says, "I like you already." As Aizawa says, "Well, you made a good impression on me, kid. I like you already. You seem like you're gonna be a good student for me. Just don't cause me any problems." As Deku just yawns and says, "You mind if I take a nap first?" As Aizawa says, "Go ahead. I could use one too." So Deku just lays on the ground, just takes a little nap. But let's go over to where after Deku closed up the hole, all the girls heard that, and Todoroki basically says, "Oh, so that," she saw him in the class, and she says, "So he did get in." And then she hears him getting pissed off, as then he asks Jiro, goes, "Why did he send that to the guy with the grapes on his forehead?" As then she says he was staring through a hole in the wall, which that guy just closed up. And she's thinking, okay. As she's, wondering if she should ask her brothers and sister about it, because she kind of feels like she knows those flames from somewhere, though. They look similar to someone that she knows, so she's, doesn't know yet. So after that happens, so right when, the quirk assessment test, he said, everyone gets out there as they see Deku and Aizawa just sleeping on the floor. Well, Deku sleeping on the floor while Aizawa was in a sleeping bag. And everyone's thinking, how did they fall asleep so quickly? As then Aizawa, gets up because they all yelled it, and then Deku wakes up after him. He was like, huh? And Deku like looks up. He goes, "Is it time for the assessment test already? I was just enjoying a little dream of mine." As then he looks overseas. Oh yeah, everyone is here. And then he gets up. Aizawa does too, and then he says, "All right." So the top scorer of the person will come up front and throw this ball. As then he says, "Izuku Midoriya, step forward." As then Deku does, and Bakugo is saying, that, and he says, "That isn't you, Deku." Basically just yells that out, and then and Deku just looks at him and goes like, "Whatever, Bakugo. I've been hiding something from you for the past year. Well, a year ago or two." As Bakugo's kind of pissed, but he's like saying, "How did he get one?" As he and then Todoroki heard, you know, Endeavor, her father, talk about somebody named Midoriya, as she's basically, said he had blue frames just like her older brother Toya. As now she's thinking he stole him. This could this be Toya, or did he take my brother's quirk? As she's just, well, like how original Todoroki was, thinking Deku was All Might's son, secret, son. So I wouldn't get far fetched from this happening. So yeah. So as Deku grabs the ball and asks him how far could he throw the ball when he was in middle school gym class. As Deku says, about 100 meters. He goes, without your quirk? He says, oh, I never used. Yeah, I trained a lot. And he goes, all right, throw without your quirk first. As then Deku just throws with all his strength, and he gets 780. Remember, his strength is 40. So yeah, he has not, increased it. He's been waiting to get a lot more skill points because he has 15 now. Well, not skill points, level up points to use, but he doesn't want to, so he's waiting. As as a when he needs to. As always in shock, he goes, "I'll work out," and he asks, "Are you sure you didn't use your quirk?" He goes, "Yeah. If you look at my favors, it's cremation and flame manipulation." As that Bakugo hears it, he goes, "What? What the?" As he goes, "All right. Hey, it doesn't. I was just wondering because no one without their quirk could have done that without a strength quirk." He goes, "Look, would I be lying?" And he goes, then he looks at Deku, as Deku has like an annoyed look on his face. And he goes, "No, okay, all right, thanks." So with my quirk now, he goes, "All right, yeah, use your quirk." As in, as I was thinking, I want to see how far this kid can throw it. As in, Deku body, arm, like his whole entire arm goes on fire as as the basically the UA, gym clothes are burned immediately. As then he goes, "Well, let's see how far I can throw this now." And he just throws it. He says, as when it goes, it's going really high and really far. As he just says, "All right, now this." As he just starts breathing fire as it gets into the ball and it just sends it out more. As everyone is in shock, including Aizawa. Bakugo is extremely shocked, and All Might was watching this. As he's thinking, that's not possible for a person to do that. As then, the ball got a little more extra oomph to it as he made it so it wouldn't, melt as it reached to a final bird at 30,000 meters. No, 30,999 meters. Almost 4,000. As Aizawa says, all right then, kid. Okay. Were you holding back? He goes, nope. I gave it my all. And he goes, all right. As he's like thinking to himself, I like this kid. I really do. As he has like and then he starts smiling, and he literally says, though, what? This kid's amazing already. I have a feeling he's gonna be a very good student here. As Baku's thinking to himself, what's going on? As everything goes differently for Deku, and the strength, all the other tests, even the long jump, as he uses the flame core cremation to push himself upwards and forwards, basically to get longer distance, to get a better score, as he comes in first in almost everything. Um, there was the ball throw and the let's just say another one, like how many push-ups he can, like not pull-ups. There's just something else, like another like test he got second place in, which he kind of just let it happen. He didn't really want to show off too much. So yeah, that happened. But as Uraraka did beat him in the ball throw because he can never beat Infinity, as he just says, all right, the winner is Izuku Midoriya. As and then Bakugo kind of got pissed, just like out of all his anger, and he says, Deku, come over, you stupid, quirkless loser! As he just yells at as Aizawa is about to do something, but then he remembered a person might saying, oh, this kid could like use fire to bind somebody together, as then Deku just disappears, has fire on his arm, as he puts it over Bakugo's head, as then the fire just starts wrapping around Bakugo, turning into chains, as he goes flame binding. As Bakugo's on the ground, and he just says, "Oh, Bakugo, why haven't you learned? Even without using my quirk on you, I still could beat you. Remember how many bones I broke on you, in middle school?" Well, it doesn't matter anyways. I didn't want to, basically hurt you with my quirk. But I got the hang of it and used to it and mastered it. So, yeah. That's the reason why I didn't use it on you, Bakugo. As Deku has this, just with a lazy look on his face, but it has, a little happy tone in it. As he says, Fine. Fine, Deku. I understand. As you can already tell he's outclassed. Even with All for One, he needs to get stronger. As Deku just thinks to himself, I wonder how strong Bakugo did become. I want to fight him. So after that happens, they all go home early, and then a couple days later, it's the heroes versus villains. I know you guys are going to get this very long. I hope you guys do enjoy this part. Yeah, but anyways, hero versus villains. As this is part where All Might does come in, as they know someone, as All Might says, look at me coming in through through the door like a normal person, which Deku says, not really. As everyone's freaking out, but not Deku. He goes, I know somebody way more better than him. And then he remembers Dobby. He goes, big bro. As he has a grin on his face. As then All Might, does just tell everyone to get in their hero costumes. As then Deku doesn't have one. As everyone's wondering where's Deku's hero costume, he goes, oh, I'm kind of wearing it actually. The pants and the boots are a part of it, along with the earrings and the rings and the necklace. As they go, huh? And he goes, just wait, guys, you'll see. As when everyone leaves, go change. All Might's thinking to himself, why is he me? And then he just kind of just tells All Might, I'll meet you out there. Don't worry. As All Might says, all right then, see you then. As Deku kind of just takes off the shirt and puts on his white shirt that's in the picture, takes off the uniform along with the jacket, and then he puts it in a storage space. As then he pulls out the box, as then he puts on his, you know, his jacket with hero, like, with support items and stuff on it, in the pockets already. As, he, like, puts in a little bit of his cremation with for flashbangs and such. As, so, after that, he gets over to where everyone is, as, he, like, everyone already walked out, as he just walks out, as everyone's seeing the way he looks, and he's thinking, like, what the? He kind of looks like a villain. As, Uraka, says, I don't think so. I think he looks good. As some people were saying, yeah, he does. As Todoroki, has, like, talked to her family about it. Well, talked to her siblings about somebody with a blue flame quirk. As, blue, a flame quirk. She asked, like, who had that, and they said, like, oh, like, Toya did. They mentioned Toya, and she kind of gets memories of him, and she's thinking that was not Toya. That the way he acts isn't like him. He must have took his quirk or something, and she needs to try to figure out how, or something happened. Like, she doesn't know. So, yeah. So, Deku, comes out, and Uraka, does thank him this time. She has enough time to, because every day's been busy and such. As he goes, for saving your life, she goes, yep, thank you, and everything. He goes, it was no problem, really. Just doing what I need to do. As he smiles. As Uraka kind of blushes a little bit, but she goes, yeah, okay. That's all I want to say as she runs away. Nervously, and he goes, oh, that was weird. Kinda. Whatever. As, Todoroki's kind of keeping an eye on him. As, yeah. And Davi did tell his siblings about he gave his quirk over to someone else, and he asked how. He said he knew a guy, but he got an ice quirk, as he shows them. As they're, like, very happy and very kind of upset about it, but they're happy that he got a quirk that he can use right. And Davi has been training nonstop with his quirk, and so is Deku. He does not stop training either way. So, he got even more points to level up with. As, yeah, so, after that, all my, does say about the costumes, if the costumes made the hero, you guys will look like pros or something. And then, he does the random choices. As in, it is Mina with Deku as, and Bakugo with Todoroki. As Mina is saying, yeah, I'm with it. I'm with Midoriya. As he goes, alright, let's win this thing. As he pulls up the bump fist with her, as she bumps fist. As he just asks, so, care to tell me about more of your quirk? As she does, like, tell him about its acid, what she can do with it, what that she's resistant to acid too, as, he's impressed by it. She asks about his quirk, as he just explains it, but he doesn't tell her about the leveling system. And she's very amazed by it. And she's saying, that's so cool! And all, and, like, and then she asks, so, what are you into? Like, are you into, like, any games, books? He goes, yeah, I'm into video games, reading, training, fighting, and, stuff like that. I even cook too. As she's, like, I was, like, happy and all. As, Baku and Todoroki were, like, moving the bomb as this was happening, as they were coming up with a plan then, after a little chit-chat. As, he just tells her, well, Baku is going to try to, get me, but how about we do this a different way? And she goes, what? He goes, I have a plan. Do you trust me? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, all right. You got to climb on my back. And she goes, wait, what? And her face gets red. And he goes, just trust me, like I said. Jeez. As then he basically, like, when they say hero team can go, Todoroki does, like, cover, like, the first few floors with ice, like the first two. And she tells Bakugo that this should stop them if you don't, like, beat them. As he just says, I can beat him easily. As you know, they give him a plan. Like they're gonna take out Deku, then focus on Mina later. Basically, it's Bakugo take out Deku, and if Mina comes over to Todoroki, she takes out Mina. But unbeknownst to them, Deku he bends down as she gets onto his back, and he tells her to hold on. As then basically he kind of just he creates he manipulates his cremation quirk. He manipulates the cremation flames into arms that then went all the way up to the top of the building. As then everyone's in shock as basically they're pulling him up as he's just running up the wall. As Mina's thinking to herself, "This is so awesome! I can't believe he's actually doing this." And then she thinks, and he's so muscular. Basically she's geeking out a little bit on the inside. Just how Mina I think she would be. As then when they get to the top, Deku kind of makes uses his finger and goes right through. Uses the cremation to go right through the ceiling. As then he puts his eye through as he basically sees the room where Todoroki's in, and he goes, "All right, we're at the top floor, so that must mean they're here." As basically Deku keeps on hearing explosions on the third and no on the second and the first floor. On the second floor, he goes, "Okay, he must think we're down there, so we gotta hurry." So Mina does get the lock, and she asks, "So what about now?" As he goes, "Oh, easy. I'm gonna blind Todoroki with this." As as he holds up the little grenade, she goes, "What?" He goes, "It's a flashbang. Don't worry, it's to blind her, not to kill her." She goes, "Wow." And yeah, and the flame burns as long as I want it. As the bang, the light from it will burn as much as I want it to. She goes, "Really? That's really amazing." He goes, "Yeah, I got a couple of these, especially ones that could use my flames to, into a glue-like substance." And she goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted into this jacket." And she goes, "Well, you're full of surprises, Izuku." As he goes, "All right, Mina." As basically, when they see the cover in ice, Deku just starts heating up his body, and they just start walking through. As she says, "Wow, your body temperature increased a lot." He goes, "Yeah, it's one of the things I learned about it from my training. I can melt through the ice pretty easily, but this ice though, it's too easy to melt through." She goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, the guy who I trained with was a lot colder. Say absolute zero temperature ice." She goes, "Absolute zero?" She goes, "Yeah, it's liquid nitrogen. You freeze right away, only after a few seconds." She goes, "Wait, you would have got someone with that type of quirk?" He goes, "Yeah, it was actually kind of fun. Heck, I was actually able to keep on moving on top of it actually." And she's in shock and impressed. And then when Deku literally when they get to the door, he basically pulls out the pin, froze after he kicks the door, he did that and froze in the flashbang and then when it goes off when Toguri is about to use her ice to freeze, send ice through the basically the doorway, as then that's when the flashbang goes off, as Mina and Deku start rushing in, and Deku just uses his cremation quirk just to bind Todoroki. As then Mina touches the bomb. As then basically All Might is in shock. Everyone is in shock. As then Deku just has his foot. I mean, he's just leaning against a pillar as he says, "Wait for it, Mina." As then he said, as All Might says, "Hero Team wins!" And then Bakugo explosion saying, "Deku!" And he goes, music to my ears. As then he says, as then Mina says, "Why is that?" He goes, "Oh, because he hates me a lot." So, he releases the binding off of Todoroki, and then Deku kind of just Whenever Bakugo comes out, they come through the door. He goes like, "Well, see you 3 later," and then he runs and jumps right through the window, like literally. Like he just literally jumps right through the window, like volleys over through it. Nah, he just jumps right through the window and cracking it, as then Bakugo's thinking, "Crud, crud, 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 crud." I got it. And then he sees Deku just using his feet with fire underneath it, as he's just basically just floating downwards. And he goes, "I knew that would have worked." As he goes, "Deku, I'm gonna get you for this." As you know, basically, Deku just says to Bakugo, says, "For what? Not fighting you and winning?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Aw, poor Bakugo. Sorry, I didn't have time to fight you. Maybe next time." As he just walks. As Bakugo just says, has a cocky smile, has a smile on his face. He goes, "Man, when did he get so?" He goes, "Wait a minute, this guy's always been cocky. I should have realized he would have done something like this. I've been in my head way too much." And he just starts laughing. As Mina and Todoroki are like weirded out by this, he goes, "Oh, I gotta change a lot." As that's the end of this video, everyone. I do hope you all enjoy it. Yeah, next video is gonna be what if Naruto became a demon? Alright, hope you guys enjoy it. This video, and bye.